So when you guys start your torso, like we've already kind of pulled out the body here a little bit. All right, the one thing you guys want to think about is really how long should his arms be, or depending on what kind of creature you're making. All right, it should be proportionate to the body to the head. Okay, so if I'm standing here, right, and I have my arms kind of stretched out, okay, if you took like the length of my head here, okay, and you took it and you measured my arm, how many do you think it would be? Okay, maybe 4, maybe 5, okay, depending. We're talking about a dragon, so it might be a little bit longer, depending. But you do need to think, like, it needs to proportionally be right. A lot of times I see people make dragons and their arms, like, stop here, and they look like these, like, little T-Rex, like, arms going on, okay? You guys need to make sure when you're doing the body that you're doing it proportionate to everything. Because if the head's too big compared to the body, it's not going to look right. Okay, so one thing I would probably do here is I would start pulling down the body. Okay, so here, I have global turned on, but all right, start pulling down that body a little bit, okay? And then once you pull it a little bit, start inflating it, okay? Give it a little bit more meat. You can always push that down, okay? So that's a good way to get started there, all right? But I think he's probably getting to be a little bit longer. All right. Get my grab tool again. And again, I can always reform this. Now, let's look at the arms. Okay, I'm going to start pulling those out. Okay, I'm going to shrink down my inflate tool just so I can get a hold of this, make this a little bit larger. All right, and now I'm going to start taking my grab tool and pulling those arms out. Okay, I can always thin them down, okay, later on. But realistically, I think that's a good start for maybe the top portion of the arm. And then let's say, all right, I want to start pulling the other part of the arm out from like a socket or from like the elbow. So I kind of start that nub, and then same thing we've been doing, all right? I'm going to go get my grab tool, and I'm going to pull that out. And again, think in proportions here, okay? Some things I'm also looking at, the back to me looks a little bit like thin, so I'm going to go in and start building up material on that, okay, just to bump that in. Be careful, though, you don't get, weird creases and stuff, okay? If you start seeing that, let me reduce it down a little bit. Okay. Add a little bit more meat onto the neck. Be careful, like here I'm getting a little bit nervous about those like horn things there. But you will need to add more material in places. It's not going to be done, Like I said yesterday, it's a good idea maybe to look at some bodies. Okay, you can look up dragons. You can just look up if you want it to be all muscly, look up bodybuilder muscles or something like that. If you want it to be look a certain way, look up something to reference and then try to kind of duplicate that. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my inflate tool, start blowing up the arms a little bit here. All right. So you guys kind of see how I'm going about this, right? But again, I do want you thinking about proportions. Okay, be thinking about what kind of details you need in there. Okay, how would you add? Say you want to do like muscles in here, like abdominal muscles, or you want to do other scales. What I would do is get my draw tool, shrink it down, make the strength a little bit weaker, and then go in with like the alt option, and that's how I kind of got those rib cage things going. So then I can start kind of pressing in and get some details in there. It starts looking weird. I can always go back and I can smooth it out. All right, but very subtle things like that you can do pretty well with the draw tool, just bumping it down in size, and then play around with the strength of it. Okay, what's looking better, what's not. Play with your detail a little bit. I feel like I was doing it better off a little bit less strength. So I'm alt option clicking here, trying to get this thing kind of rolling. Yeah, I could probably do a better job of this. Like I said, it does take some time to kind of get used to what you're really trying to do there, and finding the right strength and right detail. Okay. There we go. So that for me is a good way to start drawing in little details and things there. Okay. this up a little bit more. But again, guys, you know, I've done a lot of like drawing classes that have been like, you know, drawing human anatomy and bodies. So that's definitely helped me kind of think about, all right, what am I trying to accomplish here? Okay, for the legs, think about how you're building them similar to the arms. I mean, you guys should really literally be able to pull out every single thing here. So if I get down to this portion, I do want you guys to think about pulling out the hands. Okay, so maybe I pull out a hand here. Inflate that a little bit. And then I'm going to shrink my draw brush down. Too much. And I'll start pulling out the thumbs and fingers.
Did you get a photograph of the fish piece? Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm just doing smaller parts. And then eventually, say if I wanted to go into that finger and detail it, same idea. Draw a tool, maybe bump that size down, play with the strength and detail, and then I can start kind of pushing it in. I think that detail might be too fine. All right, get my grab tool, shrink that thing up, start pulling out, you know, claws.